Nick and Leslie talking holiday cheer. Hallmark movies, cozy nights, and a festive review today. Hey, grab a seat and a sweet treat, cozy up, push play. Movie cheers, what you'll hear this Hallmark movie day.
Welcome back, everyone. Hello. Hope everyone had a wonderful, happy Halloween. Now on to the next holidays.
So 31 Hallmark movies is not enough for Leslie.
Not enough. So, if you haven't heard, the Hallmark Mystery Channel has also had a few new Christmas movies coming out. And one of them that came out on October 31st, Thursday, was My Sweet Austrian Holiday. So I had to watch it. So I did stream it, though, on Friday. So I watched it. Nick hasn't. And we're going to let him watch the trailer. I'm going to walk him through this movie, but also see if he can guess some of the plot twists and plot. All right. But first, we're going to show him the trailer. Let's roll that beautiful Christmas footage.
Can I offer you a chocolate?
My company, Danube Development, is building the boutique and apartment project here.
They are going to tear it down, and I am going to lose my shop.
What will you do if you can't keep it?
I don't know.
You make me feel like anything is possible.
Well, I saw the way Henry was looking at you.
What if I lose the business? If I go back to Cincinnati, any hope of things happening with Henry is done.
My Sweet Austrian Holiday, part of Miracles of Christmas, only on Hallmark Mystery.
Okay. So that was My Sweet Austrian Holiday. Okay, so based on what I saw, my prediction... Okay, well, first off, from that trailer, only one person had an Austrian accent. Or a non-American accent. So that is going to be the dude. So I can't really discern if they're in Austria, because the main character didn't have an accent. There's chocolate involved, so I'm like, oh, Austrian chocolate. But, like, Germans do chocolate, and Austria's close by. Is Austria known for chocolate? Am I pissing off Austrians by asking this question out loud? So my thought is, she's an American baker who went to Austria because she fell in love with Austrian chocolate when she was a child. She's opened up this shop, and now that place is being destroyed by a company called Something Development Group, which is an English name for what is probably an Austrian company. Then it turns out this guy owns it. So this is kind of the same premise as that candle story from that other movie a few movies back, but it's from her perspective. So she is going to spend some time with this guy, and he's like, I'll give it a few days to learn more about this woman, see if we can find a solution. They end up falling in love with each other. So she has a friend who's urging her to spend more time with this guy. She does. They fall in love, and he has some type of solution that probably involves, you know what, we can keep your shop on the bottom level and build apartments on the top. That's my thoughts.
And so that concludes the My Sweet Austrian Holiday.
Can I guess some character names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know if it says any of the names.
If it did, I didn't notice.
Okay.
But I'm going to guess the guy's named Hans. The girl is named... They've been giving them weird names, but sometimes they're just basic. Let's say her name is Noelle.
I wish.
And then her friend's name is Sylvia.
What about his friend's name?
Oh, if he has a friend, his friend's name is Franz.
Franz. All right, we're very close.
Oh, okay. All right, so what's the premise?
His name is Henry. Her name is Charlotte. Her right-hand woman is Maya. His right-hand man is it Wilfred? Yes, Wilfred.
Was I right about the ethnicities of people?
So it is interesting. It took me a bit to realize, I'm like, so is someone Austrian and they're meeting an Austrian pair? Or are they in Austria? Because everyone had American accents except two people, but the first one is first. And you're just like, oh, it's one person. And then much later on, you like, oh, there's someone that has some accent that I'm like, is this Austrian, or are we just trying for a Dutch accent of some sort? And then you do have the Henry, who is British.
So he was British.
So it took a minute to be
Okay.
like, where are we? But I'm like, okay, we are in Austria. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, yeah, so we are in Austria.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah, so you definitely have hit the ornament on the candy cane. I don't know. I was
Oh.
trying to go somewhere. Yes, we have a developer taking over a land. So I don't know who got hurt in Hallmark this year.
I feel like Hallmark is the developer. I don't know. Maybe not.
Right?
All the mom and pop
Um,
greeting card shops.
So it's it's exactly what you were happy. There is a theme change, I feel like, in Hallmark this year from from like your big city person going back home to their small town holiday. It's corporate takeover. Someone got hurt in Hallmark by a corporate takeover with eminent domain or something. But I do question the legality in all this, because you have Charlotte, who inherited her grandmother's chocolate shop. So they're chocolatiers.
Okay, so the grandmother's Austrian,
So
I
the
guess.
grandmother's Austrian. So is the mother.
Oh, okay.
But the mom moved to the States and is an attorney.
The
or
trailer said,
lawyer.
"I don't want to move back to Cincinnati."
Right, yes, to do like Cincinnati, where the mom decided to become an attorney, leave Austria, but the grandmother was still a chocolatier in Austria. So Charlotte is an attorney who, when she inherited the grandmother's chocolatier shop, Dobler Chocolate in Austria, who is apparently this well-known Austrian chocolatier. And so she inherited the shop, so she left being an attorney and is a chocolatier over in Austria.
Is that an anti-feminist commentary that women will feel more fulfilled if they're baking versus practicing law?
So that was something I was thinking of in regards to what generation wrote this.
Oh, yeah.
So I do put this above watching A Carol for Two, but I am concerned about the, a woman having to, fulfill a man's voids of emptiness and missing certain things. And that sounded interesting the way I said that. But anyway, a woman having to take over. But then, a woman, let me leave this, what I worked so hard for, to go be in the kitchen, basically, and have this crafty hobby. I mean, it's more than a hobby, believe me, especially if you're in, and she's, she put herself to be, oh my God, she entered into the Vienna chocolate contest.
Oh, there's a contest.
Yes.
Oh, I love movies that have a contest.
But that's annoying. They barely bring it up.
Oh.
Exactly. They make it all about Henry. So
They probably realize that we can't afford as many actors as we need to have an actual competition.
Or sets in this case as well, because it was, again, a very...
Strolls are free.
Strolls are free. We're going to put up curtains to make it look like it's a new scene. Yeah, or a new set. So, corporate takeover in this. So we start off first at a fundraiser event for a children's hospital. So
It's like the fourth children's hospital.
Yeah, where Charlotte with the Dobler chocolates is the chocolatier, and she's come up with some fun treats, and she tries this salt and chocolate, some type of a snack, and people just love it. And Henry's at this event, who is a rich person that owns a company called Eurostar, who just acquired Danube Development, who Danube Development is in the process of purchasing all these businesses to in this area, including Dobler Chocolates, who Dobler's Chocolates is saying, no, I'm not selling out to you, even though they've been giving a big number. So
hang on, I got to wind this back. If you were in this position, you spent 6 to 8 years studying law, becoming a lawyer.
Probably more than that.
Was she successful as a lawyer?
I believe she was an attorney. Like, she made it all the way up.
Okay, so 6 to 8 years studying, you become an attorney.
There's people in Cincinnati saying, come back and we're going to give you a job at this prestigious firm.
and then you inherit a chocolatier. You're like, oh, geez, this is a lot of responsibility.
And
wait a minute, someone's offering me a ton of money for this?
By the way, it's not just a chocolatier shop. It's an entire building she owns that has a very lovely 2-story apartment on top of it.
Oh.
That she lives at. So it is a 3-story building. It is a nice building, yes, that she inherited.
This is a problem I would love to have.
Oh my goodness, right? So I don't know what the inheritance tax is in Austria, but sell it. Yeah, I'm so happy for you that you held out and that damn you development, which is a private company, not a government entity coming in. I don't know what Austrian eminent domain is, but they bring in an eminent domain for a private to private takeover of like ownership.
That's part of the plot?
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, that's not how eminent domain works.
I remember this being...
And so quickly.
I remember this being a political issue a decade back. Because the government was like, well, we'll make more taxes if this property is owned by Walmart or whatever.
And right, but it takes more than that amount of time for it to happen. And then also the actual, like it's a whole thing. It is not what happens.
No, I might also be showing my dumbness here, but Danube, that's not in Austria. Isn't that in Hungary?
Oh, you have the Danube River.
Yeah, and the song Blue Danube, but I think that's Hungary.
I don't know where all the Blue Danube
I'm whispering
runs.
it because that's my level of confidence.
So we didn't need to bring that up.
Okay.
Either way, it's...
Pretty sure it's not Austria.
There is a pup that is underneath my feet.
Better playing with your feet than with that noisy ball.
Right. Anyway, so we meet Charlotte, who is the workaholic, again, that owns Dobler, and her right-hand woman, which is Maya.
So Charlotte brought Maya from Cincinnati, or Maya already worked there?
That's a great question. It sounds like Maya's already worked there with her grandmother, with Charlotte's grandmother.
And Maya's also American?
Apparently.
Okay.
So I apparently missed her backstory or something, but I am not sure where Maya came from, but she loves everything chocolate that she puts in her mouth. That's okay. Everything chocolate. So everything is just the best goddamn thing that she has had from Charlotte. So Charlotte is creating these tasty treats of, savory chocolates. And so at the fundraiser, Henry has one, but Henry's right-hand man, Wilfred is like, sir, you need to watch your chocolate intake of your cholesterol. So he's like, I'm watching it. I'm not like my father. And so he eats this delectable thing. He's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Who did this?
So I have another question about Charlotte. She also knew how to do chocolate stuff?
So she grew up visiting Austria and learning from her grandmother to be a chocolatier.
Okay.
And
just weird that she's inventing new flavors after having been a lawyer for so long. But
yeah. So anyway, so they part, and then now we find out that Charlotte is a workaholic, and is always up at 4 a.m. creating these contraptions. I'm so sorry. Creating these tasteful concoctions of things. So tell me a flavor. Any type of flavor you think would be a great concoction, but is interesting for you. You'd be like, oh, that is different for chocolate. We're not the biggest chocolate lovers.
I would say apricot and black pepper.
Okay, I can feel that it's a good crack. I like that. Yeah, and the pear. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like that. A little bubbly in there with that crack in the pop. I'm just saying. I like it. Okay, well, she has raspberries tumbled in chocolate with evergreen essence.
That's not that exotic.
Evergreen essence. That's what you want in your mouth? Evergreen essence.
Is that like a new flavor of herbal essences?
I understand. Believe me, we've had plenty of things that has had rose essence on it, and it and we can taste it. But evergreen, is that what you want?
It's like chewing gum.
Is it palm olive is what I'm thinking of?
Palm olive, yeah.
And I remember as like going camping and in Girl Scouts, like cleaning with palm olive in the bathrooms and like hosing it down. I don't want that in my mouth. I've had that plenty of times in my mouth from cleaning those bathrooms. Yeah.
Why are you putting your mouth in the bathroom?
No, like...
I know, I'm kidding.
When you're spraying that tile bathroom down and it's just
although
water
to go
everywhere.
To the bathroom and not bring your mouth with you, so...
Right. Yeah. So, anyway, yep. So I brought to up the one Austrian actor. That's all we had. Okay, so at this event. Oh, have I already lost your interest?
So it's beautiful sunlight. I was thinking how nice our board game box would look dappled in that light. Sorry.
There are numerous projects that we have going on all the time. Anyway, oh my gosh, we have so much time. So yeah, we've
We can spend more time talking about this movie only one of us saw.
So at this
versus a
fundraiser,
girl.
this also made me think of like
there's a fundraiser.
who
Okay.
wrote this. Yeah, that's what I was saying. We opened up at a fundraiser for the
right,
Children's
sorry.
Hospital.
That's right, yes.
And so anyway, there's these little ballerina dancers, and they're trying to get the man to dance with him, Henry, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna dance Tchaikovsky this time." Talking about the Nutcracker, but then they go to the woman, and then the woman is forced to dance with these kids, and then so the man's looking at her in this motherly role, dancing with these girls,
yes,
and I'm
I
like,
could fill her with
who
seed.
wrote this? And so all these things were adding up. I'm like, this is not our generation that has wrote this, because they keep putting her in these motherly, feminine roles. And, I get it. There's a time, there's a season. I don't know. It just,
Take
what
the
about
career
him?
out of her and put a baby
and then
in her.
he wants to have a holiday break because he's like, oh, Wilfred, I'm not going to worry about this new company, Danube Development, that we've acquired. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to take a holiday break. And then basically Charlotte is thrown upon him by Maya and Wilfred to take him about, show him an Austrian holiday. So now she's forced to stop what she's doing. She's in a chocolate contest for Vienna. She's running a store. She's also trying to not have it eminent domainly taken from her by showing that it's a historical building and trying to prove this by showing this man a good holiday season. She needs a break. Let
Exhausting.
her sit down. I'm sorry. Let her sit down. So we're putting it all on the female. Okay? Give it to the man to do. Anyway, so we find out that the CEO of Danube Development does not want to tell Henry, who is the new owner of Danube Development, that, hey, we have a building, we have an owner that's refusing to sell, to move forward in this new housing and storefronts that we want to make, which is already what's there. And they don't tell Henry about it. So Henry has no idea what's going on. He just thinks, he asked them, is there anything that we need to work on now? They say, no, there's not. So they lie to him. And then he just goes about having this great holiday time with this woman who's running amok everywhere with the chicken with the head cut
So
off.
she knows he owns the company.
No, that's the thing. She does not know.
Well, then why does she feel responsible to showing this guy a holiday?
Because like Maya is like, you need to have some time and you like him. So it's that female saying you need to spend time with him. And she does like him.
Does she plan all of their outings?
Basically. I know. And it's like, and he doesn't, and so one of the things is, yeah, let's go skating. And so they go skating. He doesn't even know how to skate. But what's funny is they barely make one round around this tiny little rink. And there's just 2 chairs that are empty with a table, and someone brings up hot chocolate. That's clearly in the most emptiest of mugs.
Your hot chocolate.
Here's your hot chocolate. Anyway, so she's asking like, oh, you're part of a development company. Can you help me? So he does try to help her. And then that's when he ends up finding out, oh shit, that's my company that's trying to take over her home and buy it. And then so he tries to stand up to his dad, like there has to be another way, but he's still not telling her that it's him. And Wilfred's like, you need to tell her, like you're lying to her. He's like, I'll tell her, but doesn't yet. And then I'm like, Miss Attorney over here, you haven't even Googled this man that you're supposedly falling in love with. You haven't even Googled his name. You haven't even Googled Lensed him.
Or whatever they call it in Austria.
What do they call it in Austria?
Das Google?
Anyway, I don't want to offend anyone by anything like that. So, like,
Yeah,
and then,
one of our 9 listeners might be Austrian.
Exactly. And then, but later on, it comes to find out, she goes, oh my God, I'm so dumb. Why haven't I even Googled him? And then she figures out, oh my gosh, it's him. So then she just like shows up at his firm, like, you lied to me. And then Wilfred just stands and turns and walks away, and you just see him dart.
That's cute.
So, and I was happy that, they said, oh my goodness, that, I'm dumb and I didn't explain it. Oh, it was funny when they were trying to explain eminent domain. She was trying to explain it like the Grinch taking over Whoville. And it was like, okay, anyway, okay. Maybe I'm just everything's different there.
And then the Grinch builds affordable housing.
Right, affordable, and it wasn't even affordable housing. I'm like, maybe if it was affordable housing, but it was just regular housing with storefronts. Anyway, and so what was the little bit of part that was talked about the Vienna chocolate contest was that she submitted flavor profiles and that the store was inspected, but then later on they were supposed to be delivering at the Christmas ball, which anyway, that was weird. They were delivering their leftover these certain chocolate recipe, I guess their final submission to this ball, which we don't even get to see. Yeah, she ends up winning, but we don't know anything about what did she ended up doing, because she's been at this Christmas market selling stuff, also so another thing that she's been doing, another thing is working at this Christmas market that goes on in Vienna, where they're at. And so she's selling, and one of the things is chocolate potatoes. And so in my mind, I'm like, do they mean potato chips dipped in chocolate? Okay, but I think it's just slices of potatoes in chocolate. But either way, nothing's so you
Maybe
don't.
it's chocolate designed to look like a little potato.
No idea. No idea. But she pops this in this man's mouth that she hasn't even kissed yet. Anyway. But we don't get to know about her creations that she's made. And so that frustrated me.
Did she make a vision board?
No vision board. Thank goodness. But so it just wasn't. They put so much on this woman, and also we've watched a great British baking show, as well as Zumbo, to know what when you're making a ganache, when you're, I don't want to say mirror glazing chocolate, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Temper chocolate.
Tempering chocolate.
It should not be that chunky. So it either wasn't chocolate, or at least they could have had someone temper the chocolate before. I don't know. But it was also, are we tempering chocolate with just the spatula? A rubber spatula? That's a lot of work if that's the case. So, and I don't know if it's going to get tempered at the right temperature.
Well, she's heating it, right? Not just...
Well, also when you're cooling it down at that same time. So it's chunky chocolate, and it does not look appetizing at all. And so the movie was good. I would give it a 5.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, the CG of the decorating, the Christmas trees everywhere, but the garland, you could tell when she was gesturing, it was CG, because her hand went between the garland and the wall. That should be a sliver.
Oh, they didn't mask it off.
They did not mask it off, and it was quite 1D. There was no depth to it at all. So it just looked like someone photoshopped.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, and same thing with the garland in the distance and the trees in the distance. They were clearly CG'd on there. It was quite frosted over. And they had the same area that they were filming in. They just kept putting curtains up and other decorations, and so they were doing their best. But it was still cute in a way. Maya and Wilfred were also a love triangle, but there was a couple of cute things. Wilfred made a comment about "don't twist my taste buds," and that made me chuckle. There was something that I don't know. Oh, yeah. This wasn't a mystery. For Hallmark Mystery, I also thought there'd be a mystery in it, but they're just Christmas miracles.
Oh, there's a miracle?
Oh, yeah, the miracle. Of course, Henry changes or is able to come up with a different plan to incorporate the store so that they don't have to take it down. But it's the centerpiece of the architecture that they're building.
I mean, that's really kind of the same plot as...
Yep. As the Christmas the candle,
Which
was
one
the
that?
date before Christmas.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first one
with
we
the
saw.
candle shop.
Yeah.
So it was basically the same thing. But Austrian.
Barely Austrian.
Barely Austrian. Maybe I should give it a 4.
It's no My Norwegian Holiday.
It's no My Norwegian Holiday.
That's kind of what I was expecting with the title.
But there
like
were a couple of cute lines that I liked though, and I unfortunately cannot skim too quickly find
Chocolate
it.
meh. That's a good note.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your rundown.
Yeah.
I
I really wanted a mystery Christmas.
I know.
I thought it would be like,
I'm surprised it
we
wasn't a
lost
mystery.
Grandma's recipe and we need to go
Right.
find it in the walls. But instead we're looking like,
That's what I thought it was. But they just
Mystery
probably
of the
couldn't
Historic
shove it
Building.
into the schedule. They're like, oh no, we accidentally made too many movies.
too many movies.
All right. Well, tonight is another movie. Don't remember what. Our Christmas Story.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it Mismatched Christmas? Is that
That's
Sundays?
Sunday.
That's Sundays. Okay.
All right. Well, we will see you in the next episode.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.